like the video and do me a favor. I'd appreciate that as well. So scripting, should you use them? In my opinion, absolutely. Real estate agents should be using scripting, and most people in sales absolutely should be using scripting. And honestly, most people use scripting in daily life. They just don't realize it and call it the word scripting. So first of all, don't get caught up on the word script. Sometimes people hear script and freak out completely unnecessarily. Just because you're using a script doesn't mean you have to be a robot. It doesn't mean you can't have your own personality. It's simply a template to give you an idea of what to say so that you're not at a loss for words. So don't let that phrase or that word script bother you, number one. Why would you use a script? Why is it better to use a script versus winging it? Well, there are several purposes. Number one, it benefits you as the real estate agent or the salesperson in any field because you know what to say. You don't feel at a loss. You're just more comfortable because you know that you're able to have a conversation with somebody, because the truth is, sales is just about making a friend and doing a great job for your client. That's all it is. Two, it benefits the client. For instance, in a real estate transaction, there are tons and tons and tons of things involved. And most people never realize all that is involved. And the truth is, there probably isn't an agent in the world that could tell you everything that could possibly happen in your transaction or every tidbit of detail. And if they did, you'd forget half of them anyway. I know I have had it happen where I explain things to people and they forget because there's just so much involved in a real estate transaction. But by using a script, it allows you to at least get the important steps in there to your client so that they get the information they need to make the right decision that's best for them. When you don't use a script, it's much, much easier to leave things out and then they might miss something important. Using a script also helps you to avoid liability because you're much more likely to not leave stuff out. You're much more likely to get them the information they need so that they can make the right decision. And I would much rather use a script, have the right information, provide my client all the information they need to make the best decision for themselves versus them being mad or opening me up for liability down the road because I missed something. Scripts are fair to everyone. You know, we're in a world where people love to find something wrong with everything, and you could completely inadvertently create a fair housing issue or possibly treat someone the wrong way, even though you don't mean to, just because you say something different to one person and different to another one. I'm pretty big on teaching my agents to try to use the same techniques, the same skills with all of their clients so that everyone gets the same type of information, and that way we're treating everybody fairly. I think that's super important as well. So as you can see, scripting has so many important issues with it, okay? So who uses scripts in life? Well, here's the deal. Everybody uses scripts. If you're a mom and you say, wait till your father gets home, it's a script. You never called it that, but it's a script. If you are a police officer and you say the same things the same way every time you pull a car over, and police officers have reasons for doing that, they're using a script. If you're a firefighter and you go on a call and you know how to deal with a particular person and you know what to say to them, you're using a script. If you are a bartender and you know scripting for when that person has had too many drinks or maybe they need to be cut off and you want to say it the right way so as to not to offend them, it's a script. And then here's a big one, doctors. Doctors use scripts every day, and I can remember mine when I had a surgery a couple years ago, the anesthesiologist script. I still remember it to this day, and I've noticed that when I've been around people having a surgery, anesthesiologists are very good at sales and their scripting because they're there to make people feel comfortable. And they're there to put people at ease when they're usually nervous and afraid. And I tell you, most anesthesiologists I've seen are very, very good at their scripting and very good at fulfilling that role, which is pretty cool. Another big point about scripting, you're a new real estate agent, you think you're too good for scripting because you think it's too robotic and you know what to say on your own. I would present you with this. I got this from one of my team leaders a long time ago, and something they pointed out to me is the highest paid people in the world in our country are actors. What do actors use constantly? Scripts. They're all using scripts for everything. The second highest paid people around generally are athletes. What do athletes have? A playbook, a script book, Okay, so if the highest paid people in the country are using scripts for what they do day in and day out, and oh, by the way, they're practicing these things every day and they're still using scripts, by the way. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for you. If you ever notice, there's never been a football team that said, well, we practice every Sunday when we're playing the game. No, they practice 3, 4, 5 times as many hours, maybe more during the week as they do playing the actual game. They never in a million years would say, well, my practice is playing football every Sunday. That's all I need. I don't need to practice. I'm going to practice on Sunday. But yet I hear realtors and salespeople go, well, I talk to clients every day. I don't need to practice scripting. I talk to clients all the time. I practice it every day. Yeah, well, you're giving up a lot of opportunities while you're practicing on your clients, and you're not doing a great job for those clients. They deserve for you to be really good at your job. They deserve for you to be able to give them the information that they need. Big point about scripts, you need to master those scripts. The reason why people feel like they're robotic about the script is because they haven't mastered it. So therefore they have to read it, or they have to try to think about the words in it. And you're right, I agree with you. If that's the way you're going to do it, you shouldn't use scripts, because you haven't given your client or that scripting or yourself the dedication that you should have provided in order to do a great job for that client. This is what most people do. They read a script a few times, they kind of start to learn it a little bit, it starts to get a little boring, and they go, oh, it's boring, I know it, I'm not going to study anymore. They are nowhere near mastering that script. They've got about 10,000 more times of practicing that script before they get anywhere near mastering. So number one tip about using scripts is make sure that you are mastering the script at a truly high level. If you can't blindfold yourself and videotape yourself saying it blindfolded, you haven't mastered it. You haven't even gotten close, okay? Also, don't use scripting word for word. Scripts should be more of a template. You should be able to have your own personality in there to be able to make it your own and be able to do a great job for your clients. Lastly, some basic scripts as real estate agents we should all know. You should know a script for when you contact people that you already know. You should know a script very well for follow-up. When you meet with somebody, whether it's a buyer or seller, you should be able to follow up and bring them value in the follow-up. I teach all my agents a script so that they can bring value to people when they're following up. And then, of course, you should know a listing presentation. It is 100% unfair for you to walk into a listing presentation and not provide that seller with the information they need to know that you're the best agent for them. And, of course, a buyer presentation, because they deserve to know the process of buying a home as well. And you should have a script that makes sure you cover at least the highlights of that so they know what's going on and what they're getting themselves into, because a real estate transaction is a very complicated transaction that most people don't realize. There's a lot involved, a lot of liability involved, a lot of things that could go wrong or confuse people or cause issues or cost them money. So there you go, real quick video about scripting, super important, really in everyday life, really for just about everybody. They use scripting to do something, they just don't realize it. It's more important for salesmen than anyone else, but yet I see so many salesmen try to say that they can't use scripting or that it's not important or that they don't do it. It's okay if you disagree with me. That's perfectly fine. I believe in them, and I train my agents on them, and I think they help us to provide a great experience for our clients. If you need anything, our information is in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Feel free to reach out. We're always happy to help.